Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. BinanceUS CEO Catherine Coley, who, by the way, is a former Ripple employee, on top of that, but she's CEO of BinanceUS, has indicated in a tweet today that it's up to Ripple as far as when BinanceUS would come on board as an on-demand liquidity partner, which means, of course, helps with the utilization of XRP as a bridge currency. We're talking about BinanceUS actually functionally being a pool of liquidity for these types of global transactions, converting from one fiat currency to another, which was fascinating. That's not something I was expecting here. I'm telling you, anytime something comes up, there's a question about, when is another cryptocurrency exchange going to come on board with on-demand liquidity? You almost never hear anything from the people at the top, with this being an exception, and also Binance. So again, Binance and BinanceUS, different platforms, but those are the two off the top of my head where they've been kind of transparent about the future, which is certainly very welcome. So we're going to be digging into this, and I got a few other things for you. But before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button, I would certainly appreciate the support. Don't cost you nothing. And also go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel, because if you do, all of your wildest dreams will come true. Vote for Pedro. All right, so just as a quick refresher here, this is a story from Crypto News Flash. And this is from December 12th of last year, 2019. It's titled, Ripple Rumor. Does Binance soon use XRP and on-demand liquidity technology? And the answer ultimately is a firm yes. And I don't want to run through this whole thing, but I just want to make sure that you guys are aware of what I was referencing during the intro portion of this video here about Binance becoming an on-demand liquidity partner. And so this is the part I wanted to highlight. CZ, of course, is the CEO of Binance. And so CZ has already expressed a positive opinion about XRP. The rumor is supported by the fact that Binance CEO CZ, it's really not even a rumor. It's going to happen. It's like, we know this. It's just a matter of when. It already made a positive statement about the cryptocurrency XRP in February of 2019. He explained in an Ask Me Anything, AMA, that Binance could definitely work with Ripple in the future to support the company's XRP-based cross-border payment solution called on-demand liquidity. And back then, on-demand liquidity was known as XRapid. So here's the actual quote from CZ. We're focused on launching more features right now, so we are working with a number of other partners. With XRapid, there's nothing going on right now, but in the future, we'll definitely want to add them as a partner. And when he was saying there's nothing going on with XRapid, he meant with Binance specifically, not that there wasn't anything developing, having anything to do with XRapid, again, now known as on-demand liquidity. There's constant developments, right? We're not necessarily privy to all of them right as they're occurring, but certainly happening nonetheless. So we know, we can say with a high level of confidence that Binance will ultimately partner with Ripple to be an on-demand liquidity provider. But of course, you need to have corridors built out. There's a whole, well, that'd be part of building out the corridors, but you have to have sufficient regulatory clarity in place before you can even get to that point. So it depends on which corridors you're talking about really, like what are the endpoints. But give it some time. And that'll be big news the day that happens, but it's going to happen. So take a look at this thread. It starts off not talking specifically about XRP, so bear with me. I just want to get all of the context here properly. But Catherine Coley was tagged here on Twitter, and there are a couple tweets from her, and she's asked, okay, so when on-demand liquidity partner, she actually answers. So let's go through this now. On the Twitters here, Crypto Kenny writes the following: even though I know Coinbase will list VET, that's VeChain, right? My allegiance lies with Binance and BinanceUS. They showed love since the beginning and continue to do so. Don't underestimate the potential of BinanceUS. We all seen how fast CZ Binance grew Binance. So CZ_Binance is his handle on Twitter. So that's, again, the CEO of Binance. We saw how fast he grew Binance. And then somebody named Eugene responded and wrote, yeah, well, this us America, which is like a broken sentence, and we play by some weird effing rules if you haven't already noticed. I hope CZ Binance brings .us to the same level as the .com ASAP. And then Crypto Kenny wrote, I'm sure CZ Binance and at Crypto Coley, which Crypto Coley, of course, that's Catherine Coley's handle on Twitter, the CEO of BinanceUS. So he wrote, I'm sure CZ and Catherine Coley will do everything in their power to do it. And then she jumped in here, which I just thought was cool. And she wrote, working on it. But we need your help too. Keep sharing what features and coins you want to see on BinanceUS. And this is where it gets interesting. XR Plus Vet wrote the following. When Ripple ODL partner? Working on that too, ? And Catherine wrote the following. So check this out. The ball is in Ripple's court. We already offer United States dollar on-ramps to XRP trading, lowest fees in America, and you can send XRP and over 35 other cryptocurrencies to marketplaces all over the world. And so that was interesting. She was asked about that, and this is an indication that there has to have been some sort of discussion along these lines. Which, that in and of itself doesn't surprise me, just the fact that we were able to glean any insight from Catherine Coley about this. And it's not that she wasn't supposed to talk about it, I'm just saying that usually, it's my experience, you don't really get any inside baseball whatsoever, so even just to have this, it's kind of a rarity, frankly. Now, again, with her, Catherine Coley, BinanceUS CEO, having previously worked at Ripple, I'm sure she's got all sorts of relationships with people there, so not the least bit surprising that they would have discussed this. But it looks like, the way this sounds, it's as if it's an indication that Ripple's not ready for BinanceUS to come on. And it makes me wonder, right? And so why might I say that? Well, if you go here, and I actually pulled up XRParcade.com because I couldn't remember one of these 6 exchange partners, the one in Thailand. I was like, what is that one called? Because they're not in the news ever. It's BitCub, so I pulled them up here. But you can see here are the 6 exchange partners officially partnered with Ripple. You've got Bitstamp, and they're in the US and London. You've got Bittrex in the United States. And so as far as the flows coming out of the United States, even though there is the Bitstamp US location and Bittrex, my understanding is almost all the flows from United States going into Mexico, it's pretty much all from Bitstamp. Really, Bittrex is pretty much nothing. And then you've got Bitso in Mexico. You've got Coins.ph in the Philippines, BTC Markets in Australia, and again, BitCub in Thailand. And so you've already got Bitstamp and Bittrex functioning in the United States. And again, like I said, most of the flows heading out of the United States, they're originating with Bitstamp. And so with BinanceUS, if there's not enough demand right now and enough additional endpoints, perhaps it could be the case, I'm just speculating here, but it could be the case that bringing BinanceUS on today, given there aren't enough other endpoints, might not really solve a whole lot of problems right now when you've already got a sufficient opportunity for flow out of the U.S. just from Bitstamp, frankly. And so, again, purely speculation on my part, but it stands to reason, I think. If you think I'm wrong, I love diversity of thought, and it's kind of fun to just think through this stuff here. But I suspect that could certainly be the case. And like I was saying, it's just a matter of fact that it's going to take a while to build out this whole ecosystem, but if there's true value to be had by utilizing a cryptocurrency to help convert from one fiat currency to another, of course it'll ultimately take hold. And the only way that humans have come up with, the only thing that humans have devised to solve the train wreck that is the world of cross-border payments, it actually requires the utilization of a cryptocurrency that is decentralized sufficiently and has an open market value. Because it's not just about the technology, it's about the underlying trust issue. And if a cryptocurrency is centralized, good luck getting everybody on board with that. I don't think that would be a reasonable or easy proposition in terms of taking all of that activity away from Swift. Because, look, Swift is still the leader. As slow and clunky as the platform may be, and how they've barely changed until Ripple came on board. Now they got GPI, which is just a better messaging version. They're still not solving for settlement. They don't even have a potential solution for settlement. It's more like, no, we're just going to speed up the messaging, and we're not even going to worry about coming with a way to have real-time settlement. I don't know if it's reasonable to say they don't care, but that's what it looks like. What are they going to do? They know there is no other solution. So I'm guessing that this incumbent is just doing what sometimes incumbents do, and they just don't innovate fast enough. Maybe they don't have a solution. I don't know. But on the flip side, if XRP was ever used for settlement within Swift, which is not It's not off the radar. There's no indication it's going to happen, to be clear. I'm not saying that, but for us as XRP holders, it doesn't matter as long as XRP is getting used, because you want that confidence to be instilled in like XRP being here for the long haul if you're an XRP holder, right? And so whether it's being used on Ripple or Swift or a blend of the two, that's going to be a positive development regardless. So, but again, if they don't utilize XRP, if Swift doesn't, or some sort of other decentralized cryptocurrency, I don't functionally know this works. And it would make most sense. Obviously, XRP's technologically the most reasonable cryptocurrency users. It's built for this damn thing. And on top of that, if you think about where liquidity needs to be, it would be easier if they were ever willing to write up some code to, jump on, to make it possible to move XRP around. I mean, there's sufficient. Look, if Ripple finds success, they're building that liquidity out for Swift. And Ripple won't care. Ripple won't care if Swift starts. I mean, really, do you think they will? Because at the core of Ripple's business model is XRP. And it's always going to be. There is no Ripple without XRP. Because that's the reason that they're the startup that is now with a valuation most recently of $10 billion. That doesn't happen by mistake. They're onto something here. This type of business model has never been attempted before, and until recently it wasn't even technologically possible. Because you needed blockchain technology, you need cryptocurrencies. So it's a fascinating ride. We'll see. I don't know what the timeline's going to look like, but there's going to be other corridors opening up this year, and we can just sit tight and watch it. I will be as patient as is necessary as an XRP holder while the rest of the world figures this out as Ripple and other developers build on top of the XRP ledger. That's it for this video, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!